Chapter 377. Yi Tian and Split Army. Tianzhao and the others only chatted for a while, and then they separated. Split Army Tianzhao and Hongyang Tianzhao aren't people from the galaxy, but Tianzhao of the fairy system, and naturally, they won't stay in the galaxy for a long time. However, before leaving, Split Army Tianzhao said, "Wanfa Tianzhao, you are a 7-star Tianzhao. The galaxy is too small and too limited for you. There's no need to stay in the galaxy for too long. Go out of the galaxy, and you will find a wider world." "Thanks for the reminder. I'll leave the galaxy and go somewhere else," Yi Tian said. Split Army Tianzhao and Hongyang Tianzhao left, and Yi Tian also returned to Yinyu Star. It didn't take long for Yi Tian to come back. Soon after his return, he gave the heart of the moon god to his wife, the Moon Emperor, and began to retreat. This time, he was going to cultivate the Void Spirit Golden Silk Divine Power. Compared with the Void Spirit Golden Silk Divine Power, the Golden Silk Divine Power was much weaker, so he wanted to successfully cultivate the Void Spirit Golden Silk Divine Power as soon as possible, so that his strength would also increase significantly. Yi Tian has already practiced the Golden Silk Divine Power, but if he wants to practice the Void Spirit Golden Silk Divine Power on the basis of the Golden Silk Divine Power, it's not an easy thing, and he'll need some time. It took Yi Tian a month to thoroughly comprehend the Void Spirit Golden Silk Divine Power, and then he began to cultivate the Void Spirit Golden Silk Divine Power. The tears of the void, the blood of the heart of the high-grade golden beast, the Linglan crystal, and the stone essence of Kongtong for thousands of years. These 4 treasures need to be fused one by one, and then smeared on Yi Tian's body, forming law patterns all over the body, thus forming a complete divine power map. In this way, you can condense the supernatural imprint of the Void Spirit Golden Silk Divine Power and thoroughly practice this magical power. Yi Tian spent a few days of hard work, completely grinding this Linglan crystal and the 10,000 years Kongtong stone essence into powder, fusing it with the tears of the void and the blood of the heart of the high-grade golden divine beast, and then smeared it on his body. Then, Yi Tian began to condense the Void Spirit Golden Silk Divine Power imprint in accordance with the cultivation method of the Void Spirit Golden Silk Divine Power. Time passes day by day. Yi Tian didn't use the time talent, so it took 2 months to finally condense the Void Spirit Golden Silk Divine Power imprint. At this point, the Void Spirit Golden Silk Divine Power has been introduced. After practicing the Void Spirit Golden Silk Divine ability, Yi Tian was ready to test the power of this magical power in reality, so he flew out of Yinyu City and began to look for the traces of the fierce beast. It took more than 10 minutes before he found a saint-level fierce beast. This saint-level beast was a violent bear, with a body hundreds of meters high. Yi Tian appeared in front of him and cast the Void Spirit Golden Silk Divine Power. Whoop! The bear was covered in golden wires that seemed to turn into a prison and trapped it. Yi Tian's heart moved, and these golden wires instantly cut the violent bear into countless pieces. It's so strong. The Golden Silk Divine Power can only control one golden wire, while the Void Spirit Golden Silk Divine Power can not only control multiple golden wires, but is also faster and more hidden. In terms of power, the Void Spirit Golden Silk Divine Power is 10 times more terrifying than the Golden Silk Divine Power. Yi Tian said darkly. Yi Tian was very satisfied with the Void Spirit Golden Silk Divine Power. And this is just the top supernatural power. How terrifying is the great supernatural power above the supernatural power? After practicing the Void Spirit Golden Silk Divine Power, Yi Tian took out the Dark Lin Demon Body Technique, a secret skill of Yuan Force Defense. He flipped through the contents of the Dark Lin Demon Body Technique, and browsed it little by little. This was also the first time he had browsed this secret technique. After reading it, Yi Tian realized that he had underestimated the value of this secret skill. You can even continue to cultivate above the god level. Yi Tian was quite surprised. The general Yuan Force Defense secret technique is useless after becoming a god level, simply because the Yuan Force Defense secret skill is only useful to Yuan Li, and after becoming a god level, Yuan Li transforms into a god power. There is a big difference between divine power and Yuan Li. The two are not the same energy level, so the Yuan Force Defense secret technique cannot act on divine power. In fact, divine power also has a corresponding divine power defense secret technique, but the Divine Power Defense Secret technique is more precious than the Yuan Force Defense Secret skill. At the Emperor level, the Dark Lin Demon Body technique is only a Yuan Force Defense Secret technique, but for the God level, it is also a God level Yuan Force Defense Secret technique. But, at the God level, the Dark Lin Demon Body technique is not a 10-star Divine Power Defense Secret technique, but a 7-star Divine Power Defense Secret skill. But even so, its value is very high, far beyond Yi Tian's previous judgment. In short, the Dark Lin Demon Body technique is very precious, and even the Great God level will be excited. The Dark Lin Demon Body technique is very obscure and difficult to understand, and ordinary people can't practice it at all. But Yi Tian has the help of top-level comprehension talent, so he can practice the Dark Lin Demon Body technique. Time passed, and in the blink of an eye, a few more months passed. This day, Yi Tian finally practiced the Dark Lin Demon Body technique to the Shaocheng realm. Just the Dark Lin Demon Body technique of the Shaocheng realm, and its defensive effect far exceeded the perfection level 8-star Yuan Force Defense Secret technique. In the days that followed, Yi Tian worked hard to comprehend the palm path, the claw path, and the sword path. Since there was no big opportunity, Yi Tian's progress was very slow, but he was still improving. In a flash, another half a year has passed. Compared with half a year ago, Yi Tian's strength has improved slightly, and he should be in the middle and lower strength of the 8-star Peerless Tianjiao, which is still a little worse than the middle. On this day, Yi Tian was chatting with his wife. An emperor came to Yi Tian's residence. "I am Zhang Wei, from the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce. I asked to see Wanfa Tianjiao." Zhang Wei bent down and stood outside Yi Tian's villa and bowed. "What's the matter?" Yi Tian's voice came from inside the villa and asked. An emperor level, if there is no big thing, Yi Tian naturally can't let the other party in, otherwise wouldn't he be annoyed to death every day? "The Galaxy Chamber of Commerce has an invitation letter, and I hope that Wan Feishan will participate in the treasure auction held by the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce." Zhang Wei said, "Leave the invitation, and then leave." Yi Tian said, "Yes." Zhang Wei took out the invitation and put it on the gate of the villa, and then turned around and left. Swish! A hand jerked out of the space and took the invitation. Inside the villa, Yi Tian took the invitation letter and opened it for a look. Yi Tian also knew about the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce. It was said to be a very large chamber of commerce, and in terms of strength, it was even stronger than the great power of Yin-Yu Star. Moreover, the Galactic Chamber of Commerce's business is not only all over the galaxy, but also opens up channels for other river systems. In short, the Galactic Chamber of Commerce is definitely one of the top powers in the galaxy that cannot be provoked. And the auction is one of the businesses of the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce, and he is not surprised that the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce will send him an invitation. Although the strength of his 8-star Peerless Tianjiao has not been exposed, the strength of the 7-star Peerless Tianjiao has been exposed. As the third 7-star Tianjiao in the galaxy now, his reputation can far surpass that of the Assassin Tianjiao, Qingzhen Tianjiao, and Lei Ling Tianjiao and others. It can be said that in the entire galaxy, slightly more powerful warriors have more or less heard of his name. Therefore, it is normal for the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce to send him an invitation letter. Originally, Yi Tian didn't like to participate in these so-called auctions very much, but after reading the invitation, he was very interested. Because the invitation was not only an invitation, but also listed some of the treasures that would be auctioned at the auction, and one of the treasures aroused his interest. A page from the Mira Sutra. This is one of the auction items. Although it does not mention which page, the Mira Sutra is a 9-star wonder. Just one page, that is also very precious. Moreover, there are a lot of secret techniques recorded on the Mira Sutra, and the entire Mira Sutra may contain a big secret. Yi Tian has already obtained 2 pages of the Mira Sutra, so he is naturally interested in other Mira Sutras. Anyway, it's been difficult to improve your strength recently, so it's better to go and have a look. Yi Tian originally planned to take the Moon Emperor there, but the Moon Emperor insisted on cultivating and didn't want to waste time. So, Yi Tian planned to go alone. The auction is not held on the 9 main stars, but on the commercial star of the galaxy, the Brilliant Star, which is located on the edge of the galaxy but close to the 3 river systems, so it is in a very good position. Yin-Yu Star is far away from Brilliant Star, but there are spaceships and interstellar teleportation arrays, and it won't take long to reach Brilliant Star. Other than that, the auction will start in a month, and even the warriors on the other side of the galaxy will have enough time to arrive. Yi Tian only stayed in Yinyu Star for a few days before setting off for Brilliant Star. Along the way, Yi Tian hurried slowly, often staying on a certain planet for a while, so it took half a month to finally reach the Brilliant Star. At this time, there were still 10 days left before the auction began. Chapter 378. Brilliant Star is a technological planet, and technology is very advanced here. However, there are also a lot of warriors in the Brilliant Star, and because of the prosperity here, many warriors from the outside world will come here. Therefore, you can see God-level powerhouses on the Brilliant Star from time to time. After Yi Tian came to the Brilliant Star, he first walked around the Brilliant Star. He then sold some treasures on the Brilliant Star and exchanged them for a lot of star points. Because if you participate in the auction, you can't barter, you can only buy it with star points. In the Milky Way, star points are the universal currency, so Yi Tian naturally has to prepare a large number of star points, otherwise, even if he wants to auction the Mira Sutra, he will not be able to bid. Yi Tian has a lot of ordinary treasures. After all, he has killed a lot of Emperor level before, and even killed a few Tianzhao. All the net worth of those Emperor level and Tianzhao is already in his hands, and it is conceivable how rich Yi Tian's worth is now. Moreover, one day in the ruins of the ancient gods, he also obtained a lot of cultivation resources. Those are very high-level cultivation resources, and taking out a copy at random is enough for countless Emperor-level battles. Therefore, Yi Tian is not short of money at all now. In the next few days, Yi Tian sold most of the treasures he didn't need, and exchanged them for about 500 billion star points in total. For most Tianzhao, having tens of billions of star points can be regarded as a rich net worth. After all, Tianzhao also has to cultivate, and cultivation requires more resources. Plus, some treasures are impossible to sell, and the funds that can be used are naturally not too much. Yi Tian felt that his 500 billion star points were enough, and it should not be a problem to take a mere page of the Mira Sutra. After all, it's just a page of the Mira Sutra, and it can't be too precious. In the blink of an eye, the auction of the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce came. This day, Yi Tian came to the Galaxy Commercial Building where the auction was held. The auction takes place in this building. Although this building is a modern building, the materials are not the same, and in terms of sturdiness, it is no worse than some temples. As soon as he entered this building, Yi Tian unfolded his copying talent and checked the talent of everyone. Brilliant Star didn't suppress his copying talent much, so Yi Tian's copying talent easily enveloped this area, let alone a building. Soon, the talent of a famous martial artist appeared in Yi Tian's sight. After screening, Yi Tian saw a good talent. A sun-level palm talent. Yes, it's been copied. His palm talent is also Shi-Ri level. If he copies 2 Shi-Ri level palm talents, he can improve his palm talent to no superior. Now he has copied 1 Shi-Ri level palm talent. In this way, he lacks 1 more sun-level palm talent. Copying this Shi-Ri level palm talent, it's not a trip in vain. Yi Tian thought to himself. Galaxy Commercial Building, top floor. Yi Tian came to this floor and saw tens of thousands of seats, one after another martial artists sitting inside. Yi Tian found that almost all the martial artists who came here were Emperor-level martial artists, but as for the God-level martial artists, he didn't see a single one. Obviously, this is an auction for martial artists below the God level. At the auction, Yi Tian met some acquaintances, Qingzhen Tianzhao, Lei Ling Tianzhao, and some other Tianzhao. Obviously, these Tianzhao are also invited. As the time for the auction to start is getting closer and closer, more and more Tianzhao is coming. So many Tianzhao have come to participate? Yi Tian was very curious. Could it be that these people also had the treasures they wanted? He came here because of the Mira Sutra, otherwise he wouldn't have come at all. What about these Tianzhao? Lei Ling Tianzhao. Why are there so many Tianzhao in this auction? Yi Tian's divine sense transmission asked. Although he was not familiar with Lei Ling Tianzhao, he was also a peerless Tianzhao who belonged to Yin Yuxing, so he asked Lei Ling Tianzhao. Lei Ling Tianzhao found that it was Yi Tian who asked, so he said truthfully, Wanfa Tianzhao, although the grade of this auction is not as high as that of the God-level auction, according to the above news, A 5-star spaceship will appear in the auction of the Galaxy Commercial Bank this time, which was temporarily increased more than 10 days ago, and after getting the news, Tianzhao is here. What? 5-star spaceship? Yi Tian admitted that he was also moved. Spaceships are also divided into many levels. The lowest of which is a 1-star spaceship, which can only fly in and out of the galaxy and has a very single function. 2-star spaceships can travel between galaxies, but they can only travel through one galaxy at a time, and relying on 2-star spaceships will slow to use even within the galaxy. After all, there are countless galaxies in the Milky Way, and it takes a long time to fly from one galaxy to the other side. The value of a 3-star spaceship is high, and it can travel through multiple galaxies at a time, and the high-end spaceships used in the spaceship business of many galaxy technology companies are 3-star spaceships. As for the 4-star spaceship, it is even more awesome, traveling the entire galaxy at will, and the usual flight speed can reach 100 times the speed of light. It is not a problem to shuttle thousands of galaxies at one time. 5-star spaceships can travel through the river system, while 4-star spaceships cannot travel through the river system, and once they try to travel through the river system, the 4-star spaceship will be disintegrated. Lei Ling Tianzhao, a 5-star spaceship. Many spaceship transportation companies don't have it. Why did you put it up for auction here? Yi Tian was curious. Lei Ling Tianzhao explained, Wanfa Tianzhao, you probably misunderstood. This time spaceship is not a large spaceship, but a small spaceship, and it can't be a transport spaceship. It is small in size, about 100 meters long, and belongs to the personal type of 5-star spaceship. It turned out to be a personal model spaceship. Yi Tian admitted that he was also moved. A personal 5-star spaceship has a lot of value and use. For example, if Yi Tian wants to leave the galaxy, it will be very easy. He can take a 5-star spaceship at any time to cross the spatial turbulence between the river systems and enter other river systems. Otherwise, it will be a little difficult to enter other river systems. Lei Ling Tianzhao, how much does a personal model 5-star spaceship cost? Yi Tian asked again. Lei Ling Tianzhao knew that Yi Tian wanted to buy it, but he also wanted to buy it. But he still said, Wanfa Tianzhao, I don't know how much it is. I estimate that it will take about hundreds of billions of star points. Hundreds of billions of stars, so many. Yi Tian frowned. He has 500 billion star points, and he doesn't know if it's enough. There are big forces behind these Tianzhao, and it's easy for these big forces to come up with hundreds of billions of star points. In case these big forces support these Tianzhao and come up with a large number of star points, then he can't compete. Swish! Yi Tian left his seat and found a manager of the Galaxy Commercial Bank. Wanfa Tianzhao, is there something wrong with you? The manager of the Galaxy Comptoir asked. I want to send a treasure. Is it too late? Yi Tian asked. The manager of the Galaxy Trading House said, yes, as long as the auction has not started, you can send it to auction. I'm going to send a physical body cultivation secret technique. Yi Tian said, what? You're going to send a physical cultivation secret technique? The manager of the Galaxy Trading House was stunned. The secret technique of physical body cultivation, what a precious treasure it is. Yi Tian actually wants to auction it. Is that okay? Yi Tian asked. Yes, yes. The manager of the Galaxy Commercial Bank hurriedly replied, his face full of excitement. The secret technique of physical cultivation has never been such an auction item. Soon, the manager handled the formalities for Yi Tian to send the photo. The flesh body cultivation secret technique that Yi Tian was going to auction was one of the 3 flesh body cultivation secret techniques he had obtained before. The fire flame divine body technique, which could increase the cultivation effect by up to 14 times, which was definitely very awesome among the flesh body cultivation secret techniques. And this physical body cultivation secret technique, the starting price has reached 300 billion. That's right, the starting price is not high, because Yi Tian has made restrictions on this physical body cultivation secret technique. Only one person is allowed to cultivate, and a soul oath must be taken so others cannot cultivate. Thus, the value will be greatly reduced. If there were no restrictions, a force would even be willing to pay tens of trillions of star points to buy a physical body cultivation secret technique. But in that case, the buyer would definitely ask Yi Tian not to teach and sell this physical cultivation secret technique, and Yi Tian naturally didn't do it. Therefore, he chose this method. Even if he didn't make much, it was enough for him to buy a 5-star spaceship. Subsequently, Yi Tian returned to his seat and waited for the auction to begin. Chapter 379. After a while, the auction began. At the beginning, the auctioned some ordinary treasures. Of course, this so-called ordinary is only for Yi Tian. For other emperors, those treasures are very rare, and it's difficult to buy them in the outside world, because no one sells them. They can only be encountered occasionally at auctions, so there are many emperors who bid for it. Yi Tian and the other Tianzhao naturally looked down on these things, and none of them competed. It didn't take long for the auction to finally get to the Mira Sutra. I saw that the auctioneer began to introduce the Mira Sutra and said, "The next auction item is one of the pages of the Mira Sutra, a 9-star wonder." Everyone should have heard of the Mira Sutra. The place where this strange thing was born was not the Milky Way, but the fairy system. At the beginning, many god-level and true gods fought for this 9-star strange thing, and part of the Mira Sutra was revealed to our galaxy, and this page is the original page. This page records a secret art, the Eye of the Void. The Eye of Void can see through illusions, and it can penetrate space, which is a very powerful illusion-breaking technique. Of course, the cultivation requirements of the Void Eye are also very high. Not only do you need space talents to be able to cultivate, but you also need the Void Mina Realm technique. But the Void Mina Realm technique has long been lost, and it has never been born. Maybe in the original battle, the page of the Void Mina Realm technique on the Mira Sutra has long been shattered. Because of this, the Void Eye of the Mira Sutra on this page can hardly be cultivated. A secret technique that can't be practiced can be put up for auction? Someone complained. The auctioneer smiled and said, "Under normal circumstances, there is no way to cultivate the Void Mira Realm technique, but one of the great powers of our Galaxy Chamber of Commerce has created a small method called the Little Na Realm technique, which can assist in cultivating the Void Realm technique, and it has about 1/3 of the original effect. This time, this page of the Mira Sutra will be auctioned and given away with the Little Na Realm technique." Give away the Little Na Realm technique? It's worth bidding. Many Tianzhao were moved. After all, the secret technique of the Void Eye is very practical. On the seat, Yi Tian frowned slightly. At first, he heard the auctioneer say that the Void Eye could not be cultivated, and he was still excited. Because he has the Void Mina Realm technique, he can completely practice the Void Eye. According to his guess, the Void Mina Realm technique should be a very important secret technique of the Mira Sutra, and it is also a basic secret technique, and many secret methods need the Void Mina Realm technique as an aid. He thought to himself that if others didn't have the Void Essence Realm technique, they would definitely not bid for the Void Eye. But he didn't expect the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce to have an alternative technique. Although there was no way to cultivate the full version of the Void Eye, the mutilated version of the Void Eye was enough to attract the Tianzhao. Therefore, his competitive pressure is not small. Mira Sutra Void Eye, the starting price is 3 billion star points. The auctioneer shouted. 3 billion star points is undoubtedly a huge number for the 8 or 9 star emperor level, and many 8 or 9 star emperor level can't gather 3 billion star points, but it is nothing for the Tianzhao. 5 billion star points, 7 billion star points, 10 billion star points. A celebrity-proclaimed person competed, as if money was just a number in their eyes. 20 billion star points, Yi Tian quoted. At this time, many Tianzhao gave up. 20 billion star points, they can afford it, but the key is that they also want to bid for 5-star spaceships. Once they have a 5-star spaceship, they can sail many river systems. However, there are still several Tianzhao competing with Yi Tian, one of whom is Qingzhen Tianzhao, who has a grudge against Yi Tian. Qingzhen Tianzhao was almost killed by Yi Tian in one move before. This is his shame. He couldn't beat Yi Tian, so he could only compete with Yi Tian in the auction. 30 billion, Qingzhen Tianzhao said. Yi Tian smiled slightly, and unhurriedly quoted another price, 40 billion. Just as Qingzhen Tianzhao continued to bid, an emperor next to him hurriedly reminded, "Lord Qingzhen Tianzhao, 40 billion is too much. It has completely exceeded the value of the Void Eye many times. If too much money is spent on this, it will not be good if you are not able to compete for the 5-star spaceship in the future." When Qingzhen Tianzhao heard this, he immediately gave up the bidding. Qingzhen Tianzhao gave up the bidding, and the other Tianzhao naturally gave up the bidding, and Yu Tian bid for the Eye of the Void as he wished. Although he spent a lot of money and lost some money, he was not short of money, so naturally he didn't care about this mere 50 billion star points. As long as he could get the Eye of Void, it would be worth it. After the Void Eye of the Mira Sutra was auctioned, other auction items were presented one by one, and their value was no worse than the Void Eye on the Mira Sutra, but those treasures were useless to Yu Tian, so Yu Tian did not bid for it. Half an hour later, it was finally the turn of the 5-star spaceship to be auctioned. Because the 5-star spaceship is very heavy, although it is only 100 meters long, it is not easy to carry, so it is placed inside a space ring. I saw that this space ring was presented on the auction table and the auction began. The 5-star spaceship is a personal 5-star spaceship, with space jumps, 100 times the speed of light, and the effects of ordinary God-level defense, which can travel in various river systems, with a starting price of 100 billion. The auctioneer said, with a starting price of 100 billion, many emperors and some Tianzhao are destined to be out of reach, and they are not qualified to participate in the auction at all. Those who can participate in the auction are either peerless Tianzhao, or they are disciples of top big forces, with the support of big forces, and there is no shortage of money. Soon, a fierce round of bidding began. 150 billion star points. 160 billion star points. 200 billion star points. After a while, many Tianzhao couldn't compete, because the value of the 5-star spaceship exceeded their expectations. 400 billion star points. Qingzhen Tianzhao quoted a surprising price. 450 billion star points. Lei Ling Tianzhao shouted, 500 billion star points. Yi Tian also started bidding. Several peerless Tianzhao auctioned off, and the bidding price continued to soar, rising to 630 billion star points after a while. At this time, Lei Ling Tianzhao gave up. He really had a lack of prepared funds. At this time, there are only 3 Tianzhao who are still competing: Yi Tian, Qingzhen Tianzhao, and another peerless Tianzhao, Longyan Tianzhao. Longyan Tianzhao is one of the 3 peerless Tianzhao who chased and killed Scorpio Tianzhao at the beginning, and his net worth is not cheap. 650 billion star points. Yi Tian quoted another amazing price. At this time, Qingzhen Tianzhao said, Wanfa Tianzhao, there is no power behind you. I don't believe you have so many star points. If you don't have enough deposits, you can't bid randomly. This is the rule of the auction. How do you know I'm not qualified to make an offer? Yi Tian sneered. The 3 of us will let the people from the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce auction and test it and assess the qualifications. Otherwise, if you bid randomly, this is a broken rule. Qing Zhanshan said arrogantly. Yes. Yi Tian agreed. Soon, the 3 of them came to the auction table and asked a staff member of the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce to check the deposits of the 3 people. Soon, Yi Tian's funds were detected, more than 500 billion, and he had previously bid for the Eye of Void, and the available balance was more than 450 billion. The available funds of Longyan Tianzhao and Qingzhen Tianzhao are about 700 billion, which is much more than Yi Tian's funds. Wanfa Tianzhao, you only have such a small amount of money, and you dare to quote 650 billion. You are breaking the rules. Qingzhen Tianzhao said. In the audience, the faces of many emperors changed. It is a violation of the rules to estimate and bid at a high price, and if it is really done, the reputation will stink. Yi Tian said very calmly, Qingzhen Tianzhao, there is one thing you probably have forgotten. If I have a treasure that is sent to auction at the auction, the value of the treasure is also counted in my funds. And I happen to have a treasure that has been sent to auction, and the people of the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce can testify. The staff member of the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce went to verify it, and soon came back and said, Wanfa Tianzhao does have a treasure that has been sent for auction, with a starting price of 300 billion, so there are enough funds to bid for a 5-star spaceship. What? A treasure with a starting price of 300 billion? Qingzhen Tianzhao and the others were stunned. Treasures worth 300 billion, they can also take out, but they will definitely not take it out for auction. And if you go to prepare money now, it will definitely be too late. Now that the auction has begun, it is absolutely not allowed to temporarily send treasures, which is not in accordance with the rules. According to the rules of the auction, Qingzhen Tianzhao asked to check the balance of funds, and he could not raise the bidding price anymore. The 650 billion star point price quoted by Yi Tian is valid, so Qingzhen Tianzhao has withdrawn from the auction. As for Longyan Tianzhao, he knew that the bid could not be won by Yi Tian, and he didn't want to deliberately offend Yi Tian, so he also gave up the bidding. In the end, Yi Tian bid for a 5-star spaceship at a price of 650 billion star points. At this time, many Tianzhao were very curious. What was the treasure that Yi Tian sent to auction? And it was as high as 300 billion starting price. Chapter 380. The 5-star spaceship was already the finale item, and it was supposed to be the last auction item. However, since Yi Tian photographed the flesh body cultivation secret technique, this flesh body cultivation secret technique was made the final finale item. Then, the inheritance bead, which recorded the secret technique of physical cultivation, was presented to the auction table. The auctioneer introduced, "This is the last finale item. It is a physical body cultivation secret technique, called the Fire Flame Divine Body Technique. The maximum increase effect can reach 14 times, but it is only useful for those with fire attribute talents, and the starting price is 300 billion. Rumble. The audience is boiling. Flesh body cultivation secret technique. What a precious treasure this is. Even the top forces will be extremely eager for a flesh body cultivation secret technique, and they are willing to pay a huge price for it. And now, some people are willing to send a physical body to cultivate secret skills, and it is also an emperor-level auction. If it is placed in a god-level auction, it can definitely be auctioned for a higher price. In addition, how could the starting price of a physical cultivation secret technique be only 300 billion star points? This price seems too low. Wanfa Tianzhao actually took out the secret technique of physical body cultivation and sent it for shooting. All Tianzhao looked at Wanfa Tianzhao incredulously. At this time, Qingzhan Tianzhao said, "Auctioneer, a flesh body cultivation secret technique, and it is also a flesh body cultivation secret technique that can increase the effect by 14 times. Why is the starting price so low? Could it be that there is a problem with this flesh body cultivation secret technique?" The auctioneer smiled slightly and explained, "Naturally, there is no problem with the flesh body cultivation secret technique, the Fire Flame Divine Body Technique. But the sender has made restrictions on the Flame Divine Body Technique, a secret technique of flesh body cultivation, and only allows individuals to cultivate, and others cannot cultivate, so the value has plummeted. The physical body cultivation secret technique that has been restricted. This is useless for forces. It is only useful for individuals. No wonder the starting price is only 300 billion star points." Everyone suddenly realized. But even so, many Tianzhao showed excitement, especially those Tianzhao who had fire attribute talents, and they were extremely eager for this physical cultivation secret technique. The auction has begun. A celebrity starts bidding. The starting price of 300 billion star points is still a bit expensive for them, but in order to obtain a physical body cultivation secret skill, even if they pay a big price, they are willing. Qingzhan Tianzhao was very dissatisfied with Yi Tian. But even though this physical body cultivation secret technique was auctioned by Yi Tian, he also participated in the auction. Because he also wanted this physical cultivation secret technique. Although he doesn't have a fire attribute talent, he can use a treasure to add a fire attribute talent, and then use a huge price to raise this fire attribute talent to the arcane level. Even if the cost is very large, it is still promising. At that time, he will be able to cultivate this physical body cultivation secret technique. In other words, even if he didn't cultivate this physical body cultivation secret technique, selling it to the forces behind him would be enough to get more benefits. Therefore, he also wanted to bid for this physical cultivation secret technique. Soon, only a few peerless Tianzhao were left to compete, and the financial resources of other Tianzhao were still much weaker. In the end, Longyan Tianzhao bid for the secret technique of physical cultivation at a price of 870 billion. In fact, Longyan Tianzhao didn't have so much money, but he secretly borrowed some from others, so that he was able to buy and bid at a price of 870 billion yuan, suppressing other Tianzhao. If it were in the outside world, 870 billion star points would not be able to buy a physical cultivation secret technique at all, and Longyan Tianzhao would be considered to have made a lot of money. If Yi Tian had sent the auction in advance and asked the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce to help publicize it, he would definitely be able to sell it for more than 1 or 200 million star points, but in fact, it was too late. Yi Tian didn't regret it. His goal was to bid for a 5-star spaceship, and as for sending the Fire Flame Divine Body Technique to him, he didn't lose it, he was too happy about it. The auction ends. Yi Tian went backstage to hand over the auction items with the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce. In the end, he didn't pay a penny, and he also collected hundreds of billions of star points. Beyond the brilliant star, in the starry sky of the universe, Yi Tian stood there and took out the 5-star spaceship from the space ring. This time, instead of going back in the interstellar teleportation array and other spaceships, he drove his own spaceship back to Yinyu Star. He is looking forward to this. Bang! The 5-star spaceship appeared in front of him. The hatch opened, and Yi Tian entered. 5-star spaceships are technological products, but they also need to be recognized. The recognition of the owner of technology products is different from the recognition of martial arts treasures. The recognition of martial arts treasures is the recognition of the soul for refining, while the recognition of technology products is the recognition of the code of the master. If the code is leaked, the technology product can easily be snatched by someone else. As a result, it's easy for technology products to change hands, but that's something you can't do. But if your strength is strong enough, the technology products can also be kept. In short, this universe depends on strength. Yi Tian quickly completed the recognition of the spaceship and had the highest authority for this 5-star spaceship. Master, I'm Xiao Ai of the H3922 spaceship, and Xiao Ai is serving you. The voice of Ji-Brain appeared in Yi Tian's ears. To Yinyu Star, Yi Tian issued an order. Xiao Ai's voice sounded, searching for Yinyu Star, successfully searching, locating the target has been successfully positioned. Please select the flight mode. Choose space jump, Yi Tian hurriedly said. The space jump is going on, and it is expected to take 3 space jumps, and it will take a total of 10 minutes to reach Yinyu Star. Xiao Ai said, 10 minutes, so fast. Yi Tian was quite surprised. Although this 5-star spaceship was small, its performance was not bad, which made Yi Tian very satisfied. Bang! Space jump begins. Shout! The spaceship burrowed into the space tunnel and vanished. A minute has passed. The spaceship has come out of another galaxy, but the space jumps are not continuous, so the space jump equipment needs to cool down before it can be activated again. After a few minutes, the space jump turns on again. That's it. 10 minutes passed, and Yi Tian's spaceship jumped near Yinyu Star. Since Yi Tian's spacecraft was not registered with Yinyu Star, it naturally couldn't fly directly to Yinyu Star's spaceport. So, Yi Tian came out of the spaceship, and with a wave of his hand, he collected the 5-star spaceship into the Void Mina realm. Swish! Yi Tian flew to a spaceport. Not long after, Yi Tian returned to Qinfeng Giant City. As soon as he came back, Yi Tian shared the matter of his auction of the 5-star spaceship with his wife Moon Emperor, who was also very interested in the so-called 5-star spaceship. So, in the following days, Yi Tian took the Moon Emperor to wander around many planets in the galaxy in a 5-star spaceship, and even returned to Earth. Half a month later, Yi Tian returned to Yinyu Star again, and he didn't experience the fun of a 5-star spaceship anymore. Some things are almost the same after trying them once, and they don't feel much if you try them many times. Yi Tian and the Moon Emperor began to cultivate again. In the training room, Yi Tian took out the page of the Mira Sutra that recorded the Eye of the Void, and as for the Little Na Realm technique given by the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce, Yi Tian took a look at it and put it away. As a Little Na Realm technique, it was of no use to him at all, far inferior to the Void Mina Realm technique. Yi Tian studied the Eye of the Void and found that the core of the Eye of the Void was also the Void Realm, and 2 small Void Mina realms needed to be integrated into the eyes, so that he could cultivate the Void Eye. Once he has cultivated the Eye of Void, even if someone escapes into space, Yi Tian can see through it at a glance, and even the space jump of the spaceship can be seen clearly. As long as the speed is enough to see, he can even intercept the space jump of the spaceship. Moreover, it is difficult for future illusions to have an effect on Yi Tian, and the Eye of Void can see and break illusions. What an awesome Void Eye! This time I made a lot of money. Yi Tian couldn't wait to start cultivating. It took a few days for Yi Tian to successfully intercept 2 small Void Mina realms, and then merge them into his eyes. Then, it took him half a month to successfully practice the Eye of Void. If others knew that he had cultivated the true Void Eye, they would be shocked. Subsequently, Yi Tian entered the boring penance again. This day, an important announcement came from Tianzhou Pavilion.